And it's hard to believe that we're celebrating this year 100 years as a gas company. I would like to take this opportunity to really dedicate this video to the employees, both past and present, because the work ethic and the loyalty that these folks back then as well as today display and make our company the company it truly is. And I mean that sincerely. It's noted throughout the state of Ohio and in many organizations throughout the country as one of the best natural gas distribution companies in America. And I say that with a lot of pride, and I say that in all honesty too. And that's a tribute to the people that made the company. And if you look way back when it was the Ohio Gas, Light and Coke Company in 1914, we manufactured gas by burning coal. The byproduct of the manufacturing was coke, and there was at the time the big steel industries around Gary, Indiana, and the coke was sold to the steel mills. There was a fellow by the name of Joseph Sloan. He and his brother, they saw an opportunity in this particular area to consolidate some local coal gas manufacturing plants that some of the towns had. Mr. Sloan was able to purchase and consolidate these little local gas manufacturing businesses, and it became the Ohio Gas, Light and Coke Company. The initial office was in Napoleon. That's where Mr. Sloan had his offices. After they consolidated these little gas plants, there was a coal gas plant in Napoleon and a coal gas plant here in Bryan. They just started branching out as much as they could, but you have to understand that it was difficult back in those days because all this pipe had to be put in with hand labor, manual labor to do everything. They may have had some power equipment, but it was very limited. And so most of it was just done by shovel and pick. Then in the late 30s, the interstate pipeline system started to be constructed fully in the eastern part of the country. And the big reason why they piped up this way was the automobile companies in Detroit needed clean fuel. And we were fortunate enough to be located here in Northwest Ohio, and a pipeline went right through the service area. And so in about approximately 1939, we were able to tap in and start utilizing natural gas.
From 1939 until 1945, Northwest Ohio, like the rest of the country, was focused on securing the safety of the world. Once the troops returned home in the fall of 1945, there was an entirely new outlook for most Americans, and a new name for the Ohio Gas, Light and Coke Company. Fueled now with a cleaner and more efficient natural gas, sales and service of gas products became a very good money maker for the company.
It took a little specialization. We were in the gas business. We knew the fuel. We knew how to run the piping. And we were in just a better situation to market gas appliances.
The late 50s brought a new service technician to the Ohio Gas Company, and he was one of a kind.
Someone researched this, that they were, at that time they were using bloodhounds. They could be trained to find gas leaks. They sent him to school. He had a large doghouse on the plant property. That was still there when I came, and occasionally the stories go that he would break his chain or somehow slip his collar, do something, he would get loose, and he would go over to one of the local schoolyards and play with the kids and that kind of thing.
Many of the changes that the Ohio Gas Company has experienced over the course of the last 100 years didn't involve the physical footprint of the company, but instead the way the employees perform their daily duties.
Everything was manual then. You had just all paper trail, no computers. Technology has improved everything. We used to have to look everything up and dig through the papers. Of course, we only had 19,000 customers versus 50,000. So now I don't know how we'd ever do it on paper if we had to look up 50,000 customers detail when they call in.
Through the years, the ladies have seen numerous changes, but the one thing that has stayed the same is that the employees at Ohio Gas have always been very close.
We were always like a big family here. Everybody did everything together. Birth of a child, a graduation, a wedding, a death in the family. I mean, everybody just treated like a family and pitched right in. If you needed something, they were always there for you. It's always been like that. I mean, we're closer probably to the people here than we are to some of our family members.
Women have been very important, I mean, from day one, and, you know, they have kept the company going behind the scenes where the servicemen and the engineers are, you know, up front. That's what, you know, people, the public see. But, you know, they don't see all the women back here that are doing all of the groundwork for the company. It could not run without all of these women.
Bill Glore started with Ohio Gas in 1961, and before he retired in 2006, he saw many changes as well.
There were quite a few physical differences at that time from what there are today. The plant building where we worked was the old gas manufacturing plant, is what I refer to as the plant, and the downtown office was the office. There was two groups of us, basically. But that plant building housed the service department and the meter shop and dispatching and engineering. And then there was a separate building for the warehouse that faced Wilson Street, which is, none of those buildings are there anymore.
Probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed as far as the operation of the company is concerned is the technology that has come into play. We now have automatic devices on our meters. We have 2 meter readers, full-time meter readers, and they just drive through the communities with a truck, and it automatically picks up the reads off the meters. And we have 100% of our meters, both residential, commercial, and industrial, equipped with the automatic reading device now. Natural gas, compressed natural gas vehicles, particularly in the fleet area where companies have trucks or transit vehicles, are trending towards compressed natural gas.
As they approach their 100th year, the Ohio Gas Company is the 5th largest distributor of natural gas in the state of Ohio.
It's always been the philosophy of our owners, as far as I can go back at least, that we have 3 responsibilities, and first is to our customers, second to our employees, and lastly to the shareholders or owners of the company.
During the first 36 years of operation, Ohio Gas was guided by 8 different presidents, but since 1950, only 3 have held that position.
Well, I can only personally go back as far as a gentleman by the name of C.B. Melton, and he came out of New York. I have a very fond memory of when C.B. Melton retired and James Tuttle became president. James Tuttle did a wonderful job in operating the company. Went through a lot of rather trying times with the gas shortages of the 1970 period, where we weren't able to connect any new customers for a period of 5 or 6 years. so there was virtually no growth. Jim worked actively. He was active in the business until he was over 80 years old. I try to convey to all of our people that whether or not they're a meter reader or whether or not they're an officer of the company, we all have our responsibilities. And the company cannot run without everyone doing their part. And I think that's a strong philosophy that was built into this company from day one. We wouldn't be here without our customers. We certainly wouldn't be a success without our employees, and they're truly the backbone of our company.